Get ready, buddies. Today we are making a huge mess. It's me, Nadia, again, and today I am painting from a prompt, which you know that I love to do, and I have a ton of fun with today's painting. I don't know how I feel about the end product, if it looks good at all, but it was very fun, and I personally like it, so that's all that really matters if you think about it. So the word that I was given to paint today, my partner supplied, is anachronism. Basically, an anachronism is putting something from one period of time, like attributing it to the wrong time or putting it next to something from an older time. In art, it usually ends up looking like, Mona Lisa taking a selfie with an iPhone, or an old-timey painting, maybe a really ancient sword fight painting with like someone pulling out a gun. So kind of these two conflicting times. I don't have a very good understanding of the definition of an anachronism. I just can think of a million examples. So I don't know. Like Aristotle wearing a wristwatch is one that I saw, or things like that. I don't know how you would define that. These are just a lot of different examples. And I didn't want to do that, basically. So I don't. What I end up doing is taking this idea of two conflicting things and putting them together. And what that looks like for me is I start with this really messy acrylic painting background and building on that. Once I have my nice blue chaos, I start adding these more acrylic painted, harsh red lines and being very messy with it, because that's kind of the point right now, is I want to make a mess. I just want something that is very chaotic and unspecific. And I'll kind of get to why I chose to do that in a minute. I love the way the red and the blue look, just contrasting each other. I'm already having a lot of fun with this, even though the entire time I go in without a plan and I'm nervous the whole time. I still had a bunch of fun with this painting. So here's where the fake anachronism comes in, is I am contrasting that messy acrylic backdrop with these very delicate grayscale portraits, using the idea that the anachronism, really, if you boil it down to its most simple elements, it is two things that don't belong together. It usually has to do with 2 points in time not really belonging together, like Mona Lisa and an iPhone don't belong together. But I, again, didn't want to paint something that felt very on the nose. Not that those paintings that I Googled were on the nose, but I didn't want to just do a different version of that. So What I chose to do instead was do what I felt were two very clashing art forms, using two mediums that don't usually pair together, like acrylic paint and watercolor. You don't typically mix those two things. And taking the bold colors of the acrylic paintings and contrasting it with these delicate monochromatic grayscale portraits. To kind of add to the chaos of it just a little bit, instead of doing one full face, I just do two half faces. There's no deeper meaning behind that other than thinking a little bit about composition. I didn't want a single subject. I wanted two. Also, once again, I go in without a plan, so all of these decisions I am making on the spot. The jaw face actually it was a full face, and I just cut the eyes off at some point because I was like, oh, wouldn't this be cool? So now I'm just using an X-Acto knife to cut out the portraits. Again, making a huge mess today. There's just paper shavings all over my desk while I'm doing this, and that's okay. These are the two faces together, and from this point on in the painting, I have just absolutely no idea what I'm doing. That is just the truth of it. I am just free for all going with it, and I think it comes out pretty good. You can be the judge of that. It looked too simple. I was like, okay, this is just watercolor faces on a blue and red background. Those don't not go together. I need to do more. I need more of a mess, more of that chaos. So I just bring out the acrylic paints. I do some black blobs, some red stuff. I take some acrylic ink and use an eyedropper tool and just drop some blobs everywhere. And then it's time to glue my faces onto the paper because, that's how I have to stick them together. And it feels kind of funny to be using, Elmer's glue in this painting, but here we are. Now I'm just adding some final touches. I just wanted the black blob over his head was a little, I don't know. I just wanted to add the red inside of it. And there's not really a reason. It's just what I decided to do. But we're coming up on the end. Just a couple of little details here and there that I add in. And we're just about done. Here is the finished product. I hope you like it. I hope you find it interesting. I had a ton of fun doing this. It doesn't really fit the definition of anachronism, but I don't use my prompts so rigidly. I use them to have fun, and I had so much fun. So I hope I see you in the next one.